500 staff and contractor positions this year as it seeks to reduce operating costs by 10%. The company also plans to reduce capital investment by $7 billion or 20%. So I'm sitting here celebrating this good news for about 1 minute, and then you get to the bottom of the good news story. Looking into the future, Shell is betting on offshore oil fields in Alaska, described as having the potential to produce more energy than the biggest projects in the Gulf of Mexico. The company has committed resources to develop the long-term potential of the Alaskan fields over the next 2 years. Say in this Planet Eater calling Alaska a, quote, long-term play. Quote, these are challenging times for the oil industry, and we are responding with urgency and determination by firing 6,000 people, but also with a great sense of excitement for the future, meaning the future of an ice-free Arctic Ocean is what Shell Oil is betting on. Okay, as long as we're talking about planet eaters and the oil company, here is wildlife activists concerned over Uganda-Congo border oil. Yeah, I bet. I guess, see, this you have to be a wildlife activist to have any concern. If you are not a wildlife activist, you don't give a shit about the impending collapse of this ecosystem over there in East Africa. From Uganda, activists on Thursday urged Uganda's government to reverse a decision to open oil drilling a wildlife park on Uganda's border with Congo, saying the move puts pressure on the region's fragile ecosystems. No shit, Sherlock. Uganda's government expected to announce next month which companies can bid for 6 new oil blocks, including the oil exploration blocks inside Uganda's Queen Elizabeth National Park. They're already drilling in Murchison Falls National Park, and of course it's only a matter of time before they crank up drilling in Virunga National Park. Unfortunately I left my bullshit detector button somewhere inside the house, so anybody who believes for 1 minute that something is called a national park means that these goddamn planet eaters are going to let that designation stop them for 1 minute. I've got something to tell you, but you know what it is, so I got to move on because I got a lot to cover here. Here is why 70% of the world's seabirds have disappeared. 70% of this planet's seabirds gone. Disappeared off the face of this planet in the last 50 years. Take a wild guess why 70% of the world's seabirds have disappeared in the last 50 years. But I have to say, hats off to the mainstream media. Of course, this is TakePart.com. By, how about this? Let's see. The sharp decline has been driven by human disturbances to their environment. There you go. Most seabirds simply cannot reproduce fast enough to replace all the animals getting tangled up in fishing gear, injured by marine plastic pollution, outcompeted for prey by rapacious fishery fleets, or hunted by introduce species such as cats and dogs, and at all gearing up to this sentence. Going hand in hand with a 70% decline in this planet's seabirds, we have this sentence. The human population has more than doubled during the past 6 decades. Gee, do we think we know why 70% of the planet's seabirds from all over the planet to down there in Peru, where they just busted this slave labor camp out in the jungles of Peru, not very far from where I own land down there, for 30 years. These people have been enslaved by these goddamn cocaine growers. Good Lord, anybody thinking that human slavery is a thing of the past. Right here in California, California beaches so far remain open as source of newest oil slick salt. So we got a new oil slick. Here we go. I love when they ask a question in a headline. Why won't Hillary Clinton answer the Keystone XL question? Hillary is making headlines this week not for what she is saying on the campaign trail, but for what she's not saying. The reason she's not answering whether she supports her Keystone or not is the same reason that Barack Obama's not answering it. They're goddamn politicians. They're chicken shit, little spineless, wormless. No, they're not wormless. They got brain worms. Anyway, they're spineless worms. They're politicians. That's why. Why do you think? You know, at least Bernie Sanders has the balls to say what the hell he thinks about it. Anyway, but so what this little controversy has finally made the Barack Obama administration get off their ass. Barack Obama, I guess, to cover Clinton's ass now, has promised that before he leaves office, he will announce his decision on Keystone. My guess is the last day. Although the mainstream media is predicting that what you can expect Obama's decision in next summer's vacation time for politicians while everyone else while they're off on vacation. It would not surprise me if Barack Obama gives his decision either on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. A little talking about spineless cowards. Jesus. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Oh my God. Moving on. I love this one. Going back down there to Rio de Janeiro. AP special investigation. 5 things to know about the filthy water awaiting Rio Olympians. And I love it. Okay, how about virus levels? Tests found levels of these viruses roughly equal to that seen in raw sewage. Water experts said the water is not safe for swimming or boating. Let's see, a risk assessment said athletes who ingest just 3 teaspoons of water have a 99% chance of being infected by a virus. Let's see, bacteria levels, meaning fecal coliform, in the lake 10 times above the Brazilian limit for secondary contact. There you go. I think that's you only really need to know three things. Any athlete going down there is out of their goddamn mind. I wish, I'm not going to bother getting this, but finally there really was some good news. Their photo essay today titled Creeping Vines in Abandoned Villages.